Hi, this is Jessica with Gerber Treasures, and this video is on how to use our ultimate monthly budget spreadsheet. If you have not purchased this yet, it's available in our Etsy shop. This version is on Google Sheets. I'm working on getting an applicable version in Excel right now. That will be available in the Etsy shop soon as well. So the first thing when you purchase the spreadsheet, you're going to have a PDF download. This is that PDF, and the first thing you're going to do is click here to access your spreadsheet. And then you're going to click Make a Copy. It does take a minute to load because this is a very intense spreadsheet. We've got everything from all of the monthly budgets for each month of the year, as well as monthly expense trackers, an annual overview, your debt trackers, which includes your debt snowball, and also a couple extras, including a habit tracker and a subscription tracker. So this is the dashboard. It's really going to be your main page, and everything is linked to the appropriate page, so you just click on it, and then you'll have the option to click on the budget. So just a quick run through. Let's assume that we're doing our May budget right now. So I'll click on May, and it will bring me to my monthly budget page. And so the first thing I'm going to do is type in my income. And you type in your projected, and then when you actually receive your income, you will type that amount into the actual. And the next thing is your bills. So your bills are items you pay for monthly that have a fixed amount and a fixed due date. For example, your mortgage or your rent, your phone bill, your cable and internet, your utilities could be put in here. It's a little variable because the amount does sometimes change, but we'll just throw a couple of items in. So we'll say that's, for example, what my bills are. The next thing you are going to do is go over to your debts. Your debts are very similar to your bills in that they do have a fixed amount, a fixed due date, but you are working towards an end goal, that end goal being zero. So, for example, you could do your car payment, student loans, credit card payments, things like that. So I'll just throw a couple of examples in here. Okay. And when we actually pay these amounts, we will type that into the actual and then check them off. And it's the same thing with the bills. And you can see over down here our projected remaining balance. That is how much we have left in our budget to budget. So the next thing after that, I'm going to do my expenses. And these are things that are variable. They don't have a fixed amount, they don't have a fixed due date, but you need to spend money on them. For example, groceries. Gas. You could do beauty for those who like to get their hair and nails done, things like that. Home improvements. Okay, and the last thing we are going to do is we're always keeping an eye on our projected remaining balance. making sure we don't ever go over, or making sure that that never hits negative. Um, and then we're going to go over to our savings and place some in there. Okay, and I always like to keep that remaining balance, still have something in it, because you want a little bit of a buffer in case things, in case you need to spend more or less than you actually project. And to access the expense tracker, you can click right here and it will automatically take you to that month's expense tracker. And you would type in your different expenses as you go. So let's say, for example, today I spent $60 in gas. I would type in today's date. The categories are automatically populated. And I would click gas. And then this is automatically prompted in the expense summary. And all of these categories come from the descriptions of your expenses. So if you say buy takeout and you obviously don't have a category to put that in, then you need to budget for that. So you would go takeout and say, look, just throw something in there for a budget amount. And then you may have to lower based on, lower some other categories based on that increase. Go back to the expense tracker, and we'll just throw a couple of more things in here. And the good thing about this expense summary is that it tallies up all of the main categories. So because I have 2 expenses for gas, it tallies up the totals for me for that category. And just real quick, at the top of every single page there is this little button right here that will take you back to your main dashboard. Because I know with so many tabs at the bottom you can get a little bit lost. So we'll go back to our budget, and that is all set now. So the next thing that I want to work on after I do my budget is work on my debt. So I am going to go back home, and then I'm going to, well, actually before we do debt, we'll go to the annual overview. So this will automatically prompt each month with your projected and actual income, bills, savings, and then how much you have remaining. And it also tallies your debt as well. But that's not located in the graphs. So this is a really good way. Let's say it's, the end of the year, you can easily see exactly how much you took home. That number would be right here, and you can see exactly how much you spent on bills and expenses for the entire year. That number would be right here, and exactly how much you saved for the entire year. So this is really good, just key page, and you also have a section to write down goals and notes. So we'll go home again, and now we will work on our debt tracker. So first we're going to go to the debt dashboard. Excuse me. And what you're going to do is type in all of your debts from lowest to highest. And we do this because paying off our lowest debts first gives us more motivation to keep on paying debts off. It kind of it makes your first step an easy one so that you will continue taking steps afterwards. So just going off of what my budget was, we'll do credit card, and we'll say the beginning balance is $500, my minimum payment is $25, and then my interest rate is 25%. We'll say my car payment is next, and my beginning balance is 12,000. My minimum payment is 300, and my interest rate is 8%. And then we'll say my student loans are next, 43,000. Minimum payment of 185, and we'll say 6.6% interest. So my total monthly amount, just the minimum payment, is $510. So now you can go back to your budget and see how much you can take out of other areas to try and pay more of that debt off. You really want to maximize that. So we'll say for my emergency fund, I'm only going to do 100 a month. And then let's say I'll do 100 a month as well for new car. So this leaves projected remaining balance of 435. So let's say I want to leave $100 in there, in my projected remaining balance, excuse me, just as a buffer. So then I could take an extra 335 and place that in my debts. So that's 435 minus the 100, and that gives me 335. So I am going to go back home, go back to my debt dashboard, and then I'm going to type in my 335 plus my 510 is going to be my total monthly budget. Which is $845. And that's all you need to do for this page. The next, you're going to go over to your debt snowball, type in your starting month. Let's say I'm going to make my first payment this month, so I would type in May 2022, and it automatically generates, excuse me, it automatically generates each of your payments and how long until they would be paid off. So my credit card would be paid off in 2 months, and then my car payment would be paid off in January 2024, and then student loans would be paid off January 2029. And that is assuming a monthly budget of $845. And then you can see right here that it also automatically calculates when you would be debt-free, which is January 2029. So let's go back to the debt snowball, and let's say I have an extra $200 this month that I can throw in just for a one-time startup payment, and it would automatically recalculate the payments for me. And if you go back to your dashboard, it didn't change. So I would still be paying everything off in January 2029, but I'd be paying off my credit card 1 month sooner. So then you can go over to your debt overview, and that shows you exactly what month and year each of your debts will be paid off. Don't pay any attention to all of the Mays. That's just your starting month, because there isn't anything in this column already that it automatically prompts to 0, which is the start date. And there's no way to get that gone. So yeah, and you can play around with your budget a bit, maybe take it down a notch, maybe bring it up a notch. So let's say I really only wanted to do $745 to keep a $200 buffer in my budget. Then it would recalculate it out so that I would be debt-free in February of 2030. So bringing it down $100 a month keeps me in debt a year longer. So a year and 1 month. So just that $100 can make a huge difference in the long run. And that is it for the debts. Actually, just lastly, real quick, this is a great graph to just help you visualize how quickly your debt will be paid off. And each month, note what is in your payment amounts, so that way when you go back to your budget tracker or your monthly budget, So I know I'm going to pay $500 for my credit card this month. I can go back home. May. I'm actually going to do 500, and then I'm actually going to do 535 for my car payment and 185 for my student loans. Because that is also including the extra, what did I put in there? Extra $500 that I wanted to do for a one-time startup. You don't have to put anything in there. That's really up to you. But yeah, so that's what the budget, or what my actual payments would look like. So make sure you bring those back into your monthly budget sheet. So next is, we're going to go back to the dashboard. There's the habit tracker. This is extremely useful just to keep you on track with your habits, obviously. So here you can type in the month, whatever month it may be. You type in your habits. Let's say drink 64 ounces of water, get 8 hours of sleep. I'm kind of laughing because mom life, these are kind of unrealistic habits for me. But yeah, so we'll just throw in those. And then you check them off when you're done. And once you hit 70% or greater, the percent accomplished will automatically turn from red to green. And you bring that all the way over for each week in the month. And then same thing for your weekly habits. Type in whatever your weekly habits are, clean the house, check them off as you go. And same thing with your monthly habits, and check them off as you go. You can type in notes, and yeah, it's just a really convenient cheat to keep you on track with the things that you need to do. And then last but not least is the subscription tracker. So if you're like me, I have subscriptions that I constantly forget about and don't remember about them until I see them hit my bank account. Which is why I created this. So you just type in whatever the subscription is. Let's say Netflix, I pay for it monthly, and it's $12.99. The due date, I pay it on the 4th of the month, and it is auto-renewed. So I check that off. And so that way you don't have any unforeseen transactions in your banking account. So that's a good way just to keep track of it. And that is really it. Yeah, I just think this is extremely convenient just to have every single month here for the budget and the expense tracker. Make sure you type in all of your expenses. That really is the best way to just see where your money goes each month. And the good thing about Google Sheets is that there's an app. I know there is on iOS. I'm not sure about Android. So you can download it right to your phone. I mean, I literally open up the app whenever I make a purchase and then just type it in real quick and it's right there. So that way I don't have to remember it when I get back home and work on my computer or something like that. It's on me at all times. So that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or send me a message on Etsy or post a comment on the video. And if you haven't purchased the spreadsheet yet, I encourage you to do so. I think it's extremely helpful. There are 30 1 tabs on this total. Yeah, I think it's definitely something that everyone really should have. So thanks for watching and have a good one.